Hey guys, it's Jack here, and welcome to my first guide to Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition. This guide is going to be a economic guide, and we'll go over the different resources and what they're utilized for in the game. Now, the first resource is food. Now, food is the primary resource for military and economic unit production in Age of Empires 3. Therefore, maximizing your food income as soon as possible is crucial in online Age of Empires 3 games. Normal unupgraded villagers will gather food at a rate of 0.84 food per second from huntable animals, 0.67 food per second from a berry bush, and 0.67 food from a mill. Japanese settlers cannot hunt animals and can only gather from berry bushes and berry orchards at the start of the game. It is therefore optimal to hunt from herdable animals for as long as you can safely, then gather berry bushes if there are any on the map, then move to artificial buildings such as mills and rice paddies. The reason you gather berry bushes before going to mills is because collecting food from a mill comes at a cost of 400 wood just to begin gathering from it, and requires another 300 resources to get slightly faster than berries. On most maps, you will spawn with typically between 5 to 7 huntable animals. For me, you can see I have 5 bison near my town center. These animals will run in the opposite direction when they're shot. This can be done every 12 seconds, and doing this is called herding, when you shoot animals towards your town center. Typically, you just want to have one villager per herd doing this, and only killing one animal and leaving them on the dead animal between the 12 seconds, as this will prevent killing the animals and their meat being wasted from decaying on the ground. There are a few benefits to herding, with one of them being that your villagers won't have to walk as far to kill the animals and hunt from them, meaning that they will be spending less time walking to the hunts, and they'll actually be gathering food quicker because of that. The other thing is that you will be safer, as the enemy will be less likely to be able to come in and kill your villagers while they're hunting. Because if they're, say out here hunting, cavalry will just easily come and just kill them. But if they're close to the town center, then you can just put them inside and they're safe. One thing to note about huntable animals is that they decay at a rate of 1 meat per second. So the more villagers you have hunting on as few animals at one time as possible, the less food that is going to go to waste. Buildings such as mills, rice paddies, and farms are something that you're going to end up constructing most games. You typically only want to build these once you're out of natural resources, as they gather slower than huntable animals, and they are a considerable investment of resources, especially the actual initial construction, which is 400 wood. The longer that you can delay this process of going to an artificial economy, the better, as long as you're not leaving your economy exposed and hunting out in the middle of nowhere, you know, without any protection, any town centers or outposts or military to guard them. Next, I'll speak about wood. Now, wood is a resource that is gathered from trees and is required for the construction of buildings, ships, and production of different archaic types of units. As a resource, wood is gathered at the slowest rate between meat, wood, and coin at 0.5 a second. For that reason, many players will ship the wood shipments from the home city and age up with politicians that give wood as a bonus because it's a slower gathering resource that is quite essential in the production of units. Now the next resource I want to talk about is coin. Coin is a resource that is gathered from mines spread around the map, plantations, or as they're known now, estates, and whales on the sea.
Come on, then, man. Yes.
Coin is used to advance to different ages and the production of different military units, and even ships as well. Coin is also used for the hiring of different mercenaries from taverns, and also from the home city via shipments. Unupgraded settlers gather coin from mines at 0.6 coin per second, and from estates at 0.5 coin a second. This means it's best to exhaust all safe mines that are in a safe radius before transitioning your villages to estates. Many players will also send shipments of coin to supplement unit production or just to age to the next stage. The last thing we'll be looking at are market and economic techs and shipments. There are many techs that can be researched in Age of Empires 3 to improve your gathering rates on different resources. The market contains two tiers of upgrades for each of the three resources respectively. The Asian civilizations get their own equivalents of these techs in their markets also, with the first tier being available from the Exploration Age. So for the European civilizations, this is hunting dogs, gang saw, and placer mines, with each giving a 10% gather increase to their respective resources being food, wood, and coin. And the second tier being unlocked in the Commerce Age, steel traps for food, log fume for wood, and amalgamation for coin. These technologies are more expensive, but they provide a further 20% increase to the gather rate of their respective resources, which is quite considerable. The earlier these technologies are researched, the stronger your economy will be, and in turn, the more units you'll be able to produce. There are also plenty of shipments from the home city for all civilizations that improve the gather rate and also the gather yield for resources, which means that you'll get more from all the natural resources, in turn meaning you won't have to build buildings such as mills and estates until later. A good example of a common card players send that does this is Spice Trade, which increases the gather rate for huntable animals and berries by 20% and the gather yield by 10%. Or Fortress Age shipments such as refrigeration, which improves the gather rate of settlers on huntable animals, berries, and artificial buildings by 20%. And also Royal Mint, which is also kind of like a universal card except for coin. 25% to estates, mines, rice paddies, fields, you name it. When weighing whether to send these type of cards, it's important to factor how many villagers are collecting those types of resources, as a percentage bonus to gathering is a larger benefit for a player with many settlers on that resource than to someone who has less settlers gathering said resource. For example, if we were to compare two economic commerce age shipments, spice trade and 5 villages, we would see that it would take more than 25 villages gathering huntables or berries to be worth more than 5 villages as an immediate economic bonus. We also see that the different artificial economic buildings, such as mills, farms, estates, and rice paddies, also have their own text, specifically for those buildings and their collection rates, which scale in cost and percentage increase of gather rate. And finally, we also see that the capital for European civilizations also have three expensive but quite large texts for food, wood, and coin, respectively. The Dutch also get a +2 bank limit when they research the excessive taxation for coin income. Anyways, I hope that this has given some newer players some good insights that they can practically apply in game. That's the end of the guide. Thank you for watching.